In this little packet I have some garlic, which I added some duck fat to. I've had this in my toaster oven on a very low setting now for about an hour and a half, and we're making roasted garlic. It doesn't have very much further to go. I want it to be where I can just mash it up, and then I'm going to be making a compound butter with roasted garlic. I finished roasting my garlic. I'm going to let it cool off, and then we'll move on to the next step of adding it to some softened butter. I'm going to be prepping my roasted garlic compound butter. And yesterday I roasted this garlic in duck fat and got it nice and soft. So now I'm going to chop it up, put it in the dish with the butter, and I'm also going to add some thyme. And that will be a compound butter that I can use in things such as shrimp, other seafoods that rosemary wouldn't go along with, because typically my compound butters do have rosemary in them, but this one won't. I'm going to take my butter, and it's been sitting on the counter for about an hour or so. So it's gotten nice and soft so that I can handle it. And I'll put it in my container here that I'm going to use for mixing. If you've never made compound butters before, they're very simple, and they do come in handy for later on when you want to make something with a little bit of flavoring of whatever you are adding to it. That could be garlic, it could be scallions, it could be rosemary, thyme, tarragon, sage, any of those things that you want to add it to. I'll try to get my butter. Well, it's not as soft as I thought it was. It'll get there though by just playing with it. Okay, I'll leave that to the side. And I'll take my garlic and I'm going to do a rough chop on it. As I mentioned before, it's already nice and soft and creamy. I just want it to be able to more easily be mixed in with the butter. Then I've also got my thyme, and actually I'm going to add the thyme to the garlic so that it can get evenly dispersed with it for when I put it in the butter. That's about it. How much thyme was that? That was fresh thyme, and I pulled it off the stems, so it's about a little bit less than a tablespoon. Okay, I'm going to start adding my roasted garlic, and I'm going to do a little bit at a time as I incorporate it so that I don't have pockets of a lot in some areas with not much in them. It probably would have been much easier to do it in a mixer, and I thought about that, but then I just said, well, you know, if it gets soft enough, I can do this, and it's actually working out okay. It's incorporating. And as this garlic and this thyme stays in with the butter, the flavors will meld. And we can use them on, as I said, seafood, meats. I'm thinking about doing some steaks today, and roasted garlic compound butter sounds like it would be a very welcome on some steaks. Okay, I think I've got that pretty well incorporated. And actually, it didn't take very long. The real time on this video is actually the time it took to mix this. Okay, I'm gonna go get my parchment paper so we can roll this out into a tube and we'll show you the finished product. Got my parchment paper and I'm just gonna lay this butter on that parchment paper and we'll get whatever we can out of here because we don't want to waste any of this good yumminess. And as we take the parchment paper, we'll wrap the compound butter. And as we wrap it, we can shape it into the thickness we want. And just take the edges and twist them. And we've got our compound butter. We refrigerate this and it'll last for a week or so. Or we can put it in the freezer and as we need it, just come and slice off the amount that we want to use. Now if I wanted this tube to be a little bit thinner, I could have rolled it out to be not as thick. But this means that I just have to slice smaller little slices when I want to add it to whatever I'm going to be making. Once again, this is my roasted garlic, compound butter with thyme.